What's going on, guys? It is Average Player here, and I got a different kind of video. I don't know what all you can see because I have a broken second monitor and I can't view what you guys are viewing. But we're going to go into it. It's probably not going to be much editing. The only editing I'm probably going to do is trying to make sure you guys can't see much other than what we are looking at. We're going to go over, in my opinion, what I've been seeing in most of like locals, watching YCSs and stuff like that, based off the recent ban list, a whole bunch of other things about what's going on in this list, right? Like what decks are the best, how I rank them, and I obviously can't think of every single deck. I am not an absolute goddamn genius, right? You know, I've played against a whole bunch of decks. I didn't involve Hero in here, and I'll let you guys know where Hero's gonna be because I already put everything together. So we're gonna start it off. The first deck here is gonna be Yubel. Right, it's gonna be top tier 1. The new support that came out makes the deck way more consistent. It makes it able to get Yubel out easier, which is the main point of the deck. I'm not saying it's the best of the top of tier 1, but it is very, 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 very good. The next deck here we have is Salamangreat. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna throw this deck in Rogue. And I've played this deck before. It is one of my favorite decks. It's just I'm putting it in Rogue because even though you can play through Nibiru at some points of interaction, especially with the new Code of the Soul being out, your boards still aren't going to be as good as they normally would be. You know, having Sunlight Wolf, Bagooska with a Roar, you know, and a couple hand traps has always been fine. And you don't play into Nibiru, it's your fourth summon on, you know, on your Sunlight, on your Bagooska. So the fact that this deck has been used to not go first as much and or not be able to play going second if you're forced to go first kind of sucks. I mean, Promethean Princess is expensive, Fire's still pretty decently expensive, and yeah, that's about it. Promethean Princess. Oh, and the new Salamangreat Link monster, he's also very expensive. Putting it in Rogue is kind of understandable. For me anyway, I'm right now not seeing it. I haven't played it in a while because the deck is a little bit expensive. But not only that, I just don't think it's been too good. Rocket Dragon Link we're gonna put in Rogue, but we're gonna put it above Salamangreats. Reason being is Rocket Dragon Link is still very, very, very solid. The banning of Borreload Savage and Baron hurt the deck, but there's still stuff you can do with the deck. If you have Chaos Angel and Dissipator, you can definitely work with it and try to interpret more of Dark Monsters into your extra deck. You could play Omega, you could play I think that's about it. But you get what I'm saying. So you didn't lose much. You just lost a couple negates, and you still have access to the big rocket, the Link 5. He is an absolute monster. Can't be destroyed by card effects. And the player can target the card with card effects. You know, he's an absolute unit, but rockets, Bystials are becoming a thing more and more. Rockets aren't as good. And yeah, that's about it. Next is gonna be Thunder Dragons, which I'm gonna put as the top of Rogue. I'm not saying it's tier 1. I'm gonna put it at the top of Rogue, and this is for the deck and the engine. Okay, Thunder Dragons themselves are decent. You have access to the Bystial line. You have access to the Bystial cards to help you because you're banishing your Thunder monsters for free and getting access to more cards. You know, able to put out more, bigger boards, Colossus and Titan, and then a couple of Link monsters to put out more negates and stuff like that. And the deck is really, really, really consistent. And the Colossus makes it better. And then as an engine, you know, decks like Bright can play the engine. Decks any deck that can afford to play Nemesis Corridor can play Colossus and be fine. It's a walking Droll and Lockbird, you know, so I feel like itself and its engine is Rogue. The next two decks we're going to talk about, though, I think they're both sleepers. Every single deck tier list I have seen not involve either Sprite or Horus, right? I'm going to put them in sleepers, and I think they're very slept on. as you know, Sprite is my favorite deck. Right, I've been playing that deck ever since it came out, and I've done many different editions of the deck. Nobody plays it, nobody expects it. And then they get beat by it. And it's the same thing with the Horus engine. There isn't really decks out there that support the Horus engine. But if you find a way to splash the Horus engine in a deck and you make it work, it's so good. You have access to rank 8s up the wazoo. You have a Spell Negate with Hope Harbinger. You have OTK ability with your Glubion. You have Monster Negate with Photon Lord. You have, Zombie Vampire to mill 5 cards from each deck and then get a free monster to your side of the field. You have so many cards that you have access to because of this engine. It's ridiculous. And they're free summons and they don't even trigger. They're inherent summons from the graveyard, which is actually insane. And the deck that won my locals last week, because I got second at 4-0-1, was Horus Voiceless Voice. I forgot to put Voiceless Voice on here. That was one of the decks I actually have written down in my notes. But there's a reason also for the next decks. There's a reason why I have 2 of them, right? So the best of the best, and I'm going to say is Snake Eye. Pure Snake Eye, right? We saw it at the YCS. The deck is absolutely insane. Losing Linkuriboh, Borreload, Savage, and Baron did hurt the deck, but now they're playing cards like Dissipator and Omega for a 2-hand rip and a negate. On top of being able to make Appaloosa and having Flamberge to help them. The deck didn't stutter, but it hurts more to hand traps because Linkuriboh's banned. So, yeah, but as you saw at the YCS, the deck is way too good. I'm still learning this deck, not to play it, but to play against it. But for the next one, I'm going to put in top tier 1. I'm going to put it above Yubel, is the Snake Eye variants that we've been seeing. Kashtira Snake Eye, still Fire King Snake Eye, Snake Eye Rescue Ace. All those decks are insanely good, and it's because of the Snake Eye engine. One of the guys I was playing against, he ran through his full Snake Eye combo, right? Triple tech, draw 2, able to do his Fire King combo and put up more, right? Because the Snake Eye engine doesn't necessarily mean you have to have your normal summon. So it gives you room to play. It gives you room to play whatever you want. Snake Eyes can be splashed in anything, and as long as you have a 1-card starter in your deck, you can literally do a full Snake Eyes combo, get whatever you want, and then full combo and other things. And I think we're going to see more of the Snake Eye variants coming out. And as time goes by, you might hear me say that Snake Eye variants are the best of the best, and Snake Eye themselves are lower because the variants are going to shine through. Kashtira Snake Eye definitely being the best one. And this is Centurion Bonds. This is the deck. It's Centurion. I'm going to put them in Rogue.